Hopefully. Am I going to do a review video for midterms and finals? I don't know. I already have them, but are they good? I mean, they're probably great. I did them, but could they be better? Of course, because I can always do things better. I'm always striving for the next thing, the next level. It's like Super Saiyan 1 and 2. Um, so we're on the California court system. Again, a lot of similarities with the federal court system. A little more numbers here you have to pay attention to in this California Chapter 6. So make sure you're familiar with that. And just kind of keep some of these facts and figures. Again, there's more information in the chapter that you should be reading and asking questions on that I don't cover in these videos or in these notes. So access and fairness in the courts are not abstract philosophical principles. They are basic to preserving the rule of law. So again, this is really, really important. The courts are usually an annoyance. Most of us only go to court if we have a speeding ticket, hopefully, or maybe, public intoxication sometimes, or whatever. But you're at your most vulnerable when you're dealing with the state. And then these kind of advantages in life, like saying having money, give you a better advantage in the courts because you can hire a better attorney or you can do these types of things. And so knowing about the system, I think, is important, but probably, to be fair, fairly boring. So we know from the reading that we have over 2,000 judicial officers, 19,000 court employees across the entire state. So the state of California, which is going to be a little more since the book's a little dated, handles 7.5 million annual cases, and probably more, right? Because there's people always being born and things like that. So probably even a little more cases than today. But that's a lot. And so we know from our federal reading that most of the court issues are handled by the state level. California is the biggest state, so we can infer from such information that California has the biggest court system in the country and deals with the most cases. So it's kind of remarkable when you think about it that way. The California Constitution guarantees citizens the right to a jury trial for both criminal and civil cases. So civil cases are kind of like money disputes. Maybe no one broke the law, but it's like when you get a car accident, like who's going to pay for that? Whereas obviously laws, criminal activity deals with the breaking of written down, expressed law. Problems with backlogs that have arisen for various reasons, mainly the number of cases. The court's operating cost comes to about 1.4% of the state's general fund expenses. So again, if California is in the richest country and is the richest state in the richest country, that's a lot of money. That's there are some countries that wish they could have that much money. California spends that on just the courts. California courts are organized in a 3-tier level, like at the federal level. So you need to know the 3 levels, what they do. You have the Superior Court level, the Court of Appeals, and then the state of California's Supreme Court. The superior courts are based on the state's criminal justice system. In a trial court, a judge decides a case by applying the law to evidence and testimony presented, right? So often that's where you're going to have a jury of your peers determine the outcome of a case. This level deals with the most of the cases, and almost all cases start at this level. Superior Court deals with infractions, misdemeanors, and felonies. Hopefully none of you know what any of those are. Maybe an infraction, right? Maybe a speeding ticket here or there. But none of this other stuff, hopefully. And if you have, hopefully you've reformed to become a conscientious citizen. The court also deals with various civil suits. These are usually disputes between individuals or organizations seeking monetary compensation. So we kind of already mentioned that. So if a tree on my side of the yard breaks and destroys the fence that divide my neighbor's yard from my yard, who pays for the damage of the fence? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But that's an example of a civil suit. State's Attorney General can also bring civil cases against companies that break environmental, employment, or other types of state law. Okay, so that's really important too. That's why the State Attorney General is like the head law enforcement officer in the state. The next court level we consider is the Court of Appeals. There are no trials in the District Appellate Court. Okay, although 3 judge panels commonly hear lawyers argue cases, so they're kind of checking to make sure that everything was done fairly in the or no mistakes were done at the district court level. Excuse me, the superior court level. Don't confuse that with the federal level. I do that too, so that's going to be a test question. There are 9 court locations for the appellate court, 105 appellate justices. They review about 22,000 cases annually. So again, we went from 7.5 million to 22,000 annually, right? So a big difference. Appeals courts can reverse decisions of a lower court, but most cases end up standing. Kind of like the way I review grades. Supreme Court consists of 7 members, so the federal level is 9, state level is 7. Difference, know that. Their decisions are binding on all other California courts. Automatic review of death row cases. So another interesting thing is the governor, Gavin Newsom, has put a moratorium on death row on death penalty being carried out, right? So you can be on death row, but right now you won't be put to death if you get that sentence. Um, they hear about 85 annual cases a year, so even less. The court has wide discretion on the cases it will consider. Here we get some notes about how the attorney stuff works. An attorney has to practice law in California for 10 years in order to be qualified to be a judge. And people usually become judges through gubernatorial, meaning the governor appoints you, but then after that term, they're going to have to run for office. This is super interesting and important. Undocumented immigrants can gain entrance to the state bar and practice law in California, which actually, because California has the kind of ideological bent that it does, it makes sense. Because becoming an immigrant, anyone can become an immigrant, becoming a legal citizen or gaining legal access to the country is a legal matter. So if you're going to defend yourself or petition like an unjust treatment, right, it makes sense that you can become a lawyer and practice in the state of California, even if you're not a citizen. So I think that makes sense. It's interesting. Governors exercise their ideological outlook, as does the president in the federal level, but through their selection of judges. Superior Court justices serve 6 years with no term limits. Appeal court justices serve 12-year terms with no limits. And then basically 85 goes to the kind of the court administration, the money of the courts. Courts are more than just judges, lawyers, and bailiffs, right? You need translators, you need transcribers, you need the person that pisses you off when you have to pay money for running a red light. You need all these people for all this kind of a system to work. And so all of that comprises the court system and that 1.4% of the budget that goes to the California court system. So again, this is it. This is the last video. You can tell my tone has changed because I've gotten bored and hungry. The videos have gotten shorter. So again, hopefully you've watched these videos. I know looking at my YouTube app that most of us don't. I don't know where the hell my phone go. No idea. But please watch the videos. Please ask questions. I think they're useful. I mean, I think I'm charismatic and charming, but probably most of you don't. Tell me what I can do better. Like and subscribe. But this is always a good class. This is always a good school to teach this information at. So I really hope everyone passes and is asking questions. And I'll have to review my other videos, like for the paper and for the midterm and final, to see if I want to redo those. I'm not sure I will. These take a lot of time. But that's pretty much it. So a strange digital interaction with everyone. But there it is. California Chapter 6. Have a good rest of your semester, and hopefully this stuff started to make some sense. And if not, hopefully you still get a good grade. So I will see you guys later.